Good morning. Welcome to Spirit of Life Alchemy. This is a reading for Mercury Retrograde that is coming up starting tomorrow, the 14th of the 1st, 2022, and Mercury will be retrograde until the 3rd of the 2nd, 2022. Usual 3 weeks just about, or just over. What's interesting about this Mercury retrograde, it's going to station retrograde in Aquarius and then retrograde back into Capricorn. Now it went into its shadow period around the 28th, 29th of December, after conjuncting Pluto, and it's going to station retrograde at 10 degrees, 11 degrees of Aquarius, where it will nearly, not quite, but nearly within a degree of Uranus, form a square with Uranus, and then in the retrograde it's going to travel all the way back, conjunct Pluto again just before it turns direct, and then conjunct Pluto again, and then finally as it comes out of its shadow period, then it's going to make another square to Uranus. So these are really big energies, and because it's retrograding back into Capricorn, it's going to sort of ignite and reignite the Venus retrograde energies and all the Capricornian energies that are going on. I feel this is going to be a really big Mercury retrograde. I would advise that you have a look in your own natal chart and just see where this is going to hit, what house it's going to hit in your natal chart. For me, all this stuff is going on in my 4th house of my secret self, my inner self. My home is where the heart is, family, ancestors, etc. My home, my surroundings, my foundation in this life. So that is my own personal work. That is what I'm working around and working with to get the most from these retrogrades. So it'd be interesting if anybody else works like that. Let me know. So let's do some cards. So I thought we'd get overall themes for the Mercury retrograde with the mystical shaman oracle. So let's see, what do we need to know for this Mercury retrograde? So sorry if there's a bit of noise in the background. They're putting up scaffolding and there's builders across the road from me. But hopefully it's not too noisy and you can still hear me, more importantly. So what do we need to know? Messages from Spirit for the collective for this Mercury retrograde period. What do we need to know? Oops. Lively cards today. Messages from Spirit for the collective for Mercury retrograde, 14th of January 2022 to the 3rd of February 2022. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck we've got the drum. We've got flow. And we've got the Time Master. Okay. So this is speaking to me of rhythm and timing, and flow. The drum beats to its own rhythm. Okay, we flow with the energies, and the Time Master is making me think of Saturn, and things can't be rushed. Everything happens at its own time, and we have to work with the energies, and the rhythms and the cycles. Well, we don't have to, but you know, things generally work out a lot better for you if you do, rather than, you know, trying to swim upriver. Or one I used to do for years and years and years till it dawned on me, was that bang in my head, I will go this way, I will go this way. Not going that way. Whereas if you step back and get into the flow, you might find that further up from the wall is a ladder that goes over the obstacle, or there's a doorway, or, you know, there's another way to get through, which when you stop trying to force your way, opens up to you. Also, sort of bringing me back also to yesterday's wisdom of the oracle cards. The drum is making me think of come to the edge, that walk, that living and talking and dancing and being in your own rhythm, and daring to go with that flow, very much like to the sea. And then the Time Master, about finding peace and just, you know, connecting to the time and everything, and not trying to fight yourselves, coming back to serendipity, and peace and calm, and being allowing yourself to be led. Yeah, stop fighting. I think is basically what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we're going to use the El Goliath Shadow deck for the reading. So what do we need to know for this Mercury retrograde from the 14th of January to the 3rd of February? Messages from Spirit for the collective. Help and advice to navigate these energies, to help us stay in rhythm and flow with them. What do we need to know? What do we need to know, please? Messages from Spirit for the collective, please. Okay, so what have we got? We have the King of Swords, the Father of the Night, the Three of Pentacles, the Three Wise Masters. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Rewarded Frog, the Wheel of Fortune, the Great Wheel, the Seven of Wands, the Determined Otter, the Eight of Pentacles, the Patient Weaver, the Nine of Swords, the Overwhelmed Sea Turtle, the Four of Wands, the Becoming Vessel, the King of Cups, the Chief Eagle, yep, the Masks, the Hidden Wolf, and then the Hanged Man, the Suspended Monkey, and at the bottom of the deck we have Justice, the Doves of Equality, with the Expansion, and the Nine of Cups. Okay, so I'm just going to put my glasses on for a minute to have a look at these cards. And the Nine of Cups is the contented pelican. Okay, so let's see. Where we find ourselves. Okay, so we find ourselves as the King of Swords, the Father of the Night. Okay, and this is reminding me of one of the two cards, the mystical shaman oracle cards we had for this week, the owl. And this is saying to me about sort of become comfortable with the night, hone your skills when you can't see what's going on. And Mercury retrograde is very much like that. This is a sense of being in the dark, of what we need to go back and uncover. And this, the king is comfortable there. So let's find ourselves, let's be comfortable in the not knowing. And then the situation, we've got the Three of Pentacles, the three wise masters. Okay, and the Three of Pentacles is about growing and developing and gaining self-mastery. Sometimes that can be with connecting to our higher self, to source, working and co-creating with the higher powers. So when we're in the dark, when we're unsure of ourselves, when we don't know where we're going, what's going on, then we can always connect back up to source and know that we aren't alone, and trust that we are protected and guided, and not alone. Okay, what's crossing us is the Seven of Pentacles, the rewarded frog. And the Seven of Pentacles is about patience, again timing. We've planted our seeds. We're on a path to becoming more of ourselves, and we can't rush this. Again, this time thing, this real big energy of timing and time restraints and sort of relinquishing control to time. And if we do that, we will be rewarded. Okay, we've got a frog here in amongst all the Venus flytraps, and by being patient and waiting, he's rewarded with catching flies. So yes, patience, grasshopper. Okay, what's the foundation of the situation? We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Great Wheel, this constant turning of time, of evolution, of growth, of transformation, where our whole lifetime is part of this great turning. And the best we can do is go with it and not fight it. It's part of a bigger pattern and bigger energies than us. And we don't know the story, we don't know what it's all about. We can surmise and, you know, connect up to the higher forces and higher energies. But I think sort of as we're born and we come down to this 3D sort of existence, for most of us, there's the odd people that do remember previous lives and things like that, or remember the life between lives, then we forget that we're spirit having a human experience, and we find ourselves in the dark trying to work all this out, where actually if we remember we're spirit, if we remember that we're shining light, we can actually shine that light out into the world. Advice and higher consciousness, we have the Seven of Wands, the determined otter. This is about connecting to yourself and forming boundaries, and standing up for yourself. And being determined to carry on and build our new evolved self, knowing what's us, what's other people, standing in our beliefs and things as we evolve. That's been a big one for me in the last sort of year, 6 months or so, of actually stepping up and stepping out into the light, into the public eye, into visibility, actually standing in my beliefs, and knowing that sort of I'm opening myself up for other people to shoot me down, but actually finding the more I do it, the stronger I grow in myself, and the more I do that, the more everything opens up for me. It's a really interesting journey. What's in the past or is the Eight of Pentacles, the patient weaver. This is the showing up every day and doing the work. Okay, step by step, even when it's hard. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easy. Some days it's hard, some days it's easy. But just patiently sort of showing up and getting on with it. We've got butterflies here with the chrysalis. Again, it's bringing me back to timing. We can't rush this stuff. We just have to keep showing up every day. And eventually, if we keep on doing this, the wheel turns and it becomes the right time to open and to blossom into the butterfly. What we're moving into, and I think this specifically talks about the Mercury retrograde phase, is the Nine of Swords, the overwhelmed sea turtle. The sea is pulled back here, and the turtle is exposed. And it can be anxiety provoking, it can be overwhelming, vulnerable, being in this place, no longer in the safety of the element that you thought you were in. Okay, so it could be that, you know, as we go back, as Mercury retrogrades back into Capricorn, into the stellium of the Capricornian planets, and comes back into conjunction again twice with Pluto, we could feel vulnerable, we could feel exposed and question everything. What I've loved was that the Four of Wands, the Becoming Vessel, came out directly after this card. Both of them have got turtles in. We've got the overwhelmed, anxious turtle here, sort of worried and fretting and overwhelmed by everything. And then we move into this turtle, the Four of Wands, the becoming, the light shining out from us, passing through the portal, the 1111 portal that is the Four of Wands, and just stepping into our light and things. It did make me smile when those two cards came out next to each other. And then the King of Cups, the Chief Eagle, and this is about being in our power of our emotions and love and spirituality. And what I love about this card is the third eye, having the vision, the bigger vision, connecting to our higher self, connecting to source, channeling the divine will, the divine message, the divine vision down through ourselves, and that being the divine vision of our individual journeys, what we've come here to do. And as we do that, we drop the masks. Okay, we step into becoming our authentic self, and stand in our vulnerability, and let the world see us. And the outcome to that is the hanged man, the suspended monkey. We start seeing life from a different perspective, a bigger perspective. Another meaning I have for the hanged man is that we sacrifice something lesser so that we can step into the bigger, the greater. And I think that is the greater becoming of ourselves. The cards at the bottom of the deck, which is the general environment for the reading, we had justice, the doves of equality, karmic readjustment, justice, bringing balance to ourselves. Could be things, I'm getting things like social justice, inclusivity, diversity, equality, that are bigger. As we grow in ourselves, then the world and humanity grows in the same way. We shed old skin, the expansion. As we grow and expand, we shed the old skin, we shed the old stories, we become greater in ourselves. And as we become greater in ourselves, the world and humanity becomes greater. I've talked before on this channel about the awakening and the evolution that we're going through. This, I think, is all part of it. And then we have the Nine of Cups, the contented pelican, the emotional wish card. From this bigger perspective, what are you wishing for? What do you want for yourself, for others, for the world? Now is time to make those, to uncover those wishes, and to work towards them, evolve towards them, is the message that I'm getting. Okay, so just having a quick flick over the cards again to see if there's anything that is coming out from the reading. Okay, as we do this, we actually step up and become the master of time as well. That's another message that's just popped out. So from this reading, there's nothing to fear. We're growing, and part of this awakening, this evolution of humanity. I personally find it a really exciting time, and just watching it just all unfold before me, and seeing the transformations, my personal transformation in other people. I'm thinking it's just absolutely wonderful, and it fills me with love and joy, and hope for the future. So I hope you're with me on that. So that's the reading for Mercury retrograde. I hope it resonated with you. I hope it's given you some hope, and something to work with for the next few weeks. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. If you'd like notifications when I'm releasing readings, then click on the wiggly bell. Wishing you a wonderful, loving, healing Mercury retrograde. And until next time. Oh, if you'd like a personal reading from me, then please email me at the email address below in the descriptions box. And until next time, thank you for watching.